We're back with Kelvin Taketa, President and CEO of the Hawaii Community Foundation. So Kelvin, can you tell us how you got started with the Hawaii Community Foundation and just in nonprofit organizations in general?
Luck. Basically, I got out of law school 25 years ago and was fortunate enough to be offered a job with a nonprofit organization called the Nature Conservancy. And I was single. I didn't have a family. I didn't have a lot of debt coming out of law school at that point. Back then, it was still cheap to go to school. You know, now it's a much more different situation. And so I took a chance, and I went to work for this nonprofit organization instead of joining a law firm. And it just really suited me. The nonprofit sector is a sector full of entrepreneurs. It's full of experimentation. And for my for my temperament, I guess it was just a great thing, and I've been a nonprofit junkie ever since. I left the Nature Conservancy 7 years ago to become the CEO of the Hawaii Community Foundation, and so it's just been a great experience the whole way.
And growing up, did you have that mind thought that, you know, giving back to the community, being involved in nonprofits, or was it something that just kind of came across your path and you said, let me try it?
You know, I think like a lot of other people that were born and raised here, you know, being involved in the community is just sort of second nature. You know, you don't kind of see yourself as separate from the community. But I never knew about nonprofits. I never knew that that kind of opportunity existed. So it was never a planned thing. It was just something that fell in my lap, and I was lucky enough to pursue it.
And when you got involved in the nonprofit side, did you know that there was so much entrepreneurship and business that would be involved in it?
Not really. I was always an outdoors person. That was what sort of interested me in the Nature Conservancy job. But, you know, I had no idea. When I went to work for the Nature Conservancy in 1980, it was a national organization that was growing by leaps and bounds, and I just kind of hooked on for the ride. And, you know, now I think it's about the 10th largest charity in the United States. So I was just a very lucky guy.
You know, some people think of nonprofits and charitable organizations as just giving your time as volunteer time. Is that true?
Some people don't realize that the nonprofit sector in Hawaii is very large. It's the fourth largest employer in the state of Hawaii. And back in 2001, we did a survey that showed there are about 41,000 full-time or part-time employees in the nonprofit sector here in Hawaii, and about a similar amount who volunteer. And so you do see a very large sector of the community volunteering, but it's also a huge part of our economy.
What do you think about people who say that, you know, they can't really help these nonprofits or get involved in the community until they get their career set, you know, and they're comfortable with where they're at?
Well, I think that everybody has to struggle with how they allocate their most important resource, which is time. So I can certainly understand when people say they don't have time to give back to the community, or they don't have time to join a board. But, you know, I think everybody tries to give back in their own way. I would just encourage people to think about it, simply because I think there's two real great benefits you get. The first is that there's the intrinsic reward of being involved in something greater than yourself. But the other thing is that you meet all kinds of people that you wouldn't normally meet in your everyday life. And those people have a way of influencing your thinking and your perspective that can be helpful.
You're listening to Greater Good Radio Hawaii. Please visit us online at greatergoodradio.com. Today's guest is Kelvin Taketa, President and CEO of the Hawaii Community Foundation, a statewide charitable services and grant-making organization that gave away over $30 million in grants and contracts last year. Thanks for tuning in. Stay tuned for more on Greater Good Radio.